So I'm going to demonstrate how to divide using base 10 blocks visually. And the problem we're going to do is 438 divided by 3 equals, and I'll put my answer there when we're done. The first thing I want to do is I want to look at my divisor. I see I need 3 groups, so I'm going to go ahead and make my array with 3 groups. So I have 1, 2, 3 sections. Next thing I want to do is take my dividend and I'm going to draw it in base 10 blocks. So I have 100, 200, 300, 400. Next I'm going to draw the tens. Well, I have 3 tens. And finally I'm going to do the ones, and I have 8 of those. Now it's really important that you use these symbols. These work really well so that you don't get confused. So I want to double check. I have 400, I have 3 tens is 30, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ones. Now I'm ready to divide. So I'm going to start with my largest place value, which is hundreds, and I have 3 sections, and I'm going to divide 1, 2, 3. Let's put those in there. Just like I'm dealing cards. That's how I like to think of it. But I still have this 100 left, and I can't put that in evenly. So I'm going to have to cash that in. I'm going to take that to the bank, and I'm going to exchange that for 10 tens. So I'm going to take that to the bank, and I'm going to draw a tens frame, because that really helps keep me organized to make sure I trade it for 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And just to keep all my tens together, I'm going to move these 3 tens right next to them. That way I won't forget to divide them. So I see I have 3 sections. So I'm going to go ahead and put those 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I'm going to start dividing the tens that I got when I exchanged the 100. So that's 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I still have 4, so I can do it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I have this 1, and if I try to divide that, I won't have equal amounts in every group, and I have to have equal amounts in every group, every line of my array. So I'm going to take that 10, I'm going to cash that in. I'm going to cash that in for 10 ones. So I'm going to do a tens frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I want to remember that I still have those 8, so I'm going to move all of those down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just to keep them together. So I'm going to start dividing by 3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 1, whoops, sorry about that, 2, 3. These 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I see I have 3 left. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Means I don't have any remainder. I could say I have a remainder of 0, but I don't really need to do that. So now to find out what my quotient is, I'm going to look at how many are in each group. So I circle one group, and that's 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. 1. So my answer is 146. with no remainder. Now, to check that, I'm going to reverse that. I'm going to take my quotient, which is 146, and I'm going to multiply it times 3, and it should equal my 438 that I started with. So I'm going to clear the screen, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I had 438 divided by 3 equals 146. And that's divided by there. So I'm going to check it. So I take my quotient, 146, times my divisor. So I'm going to use my multiplication strategy of breaking apart and then using distributive property. 146 is 100 plus 40 plus 6. And I know I have all of that. I need to multiply by 3. So I'm going to do 3 times 100. And I'm going to do 3 times 40. And I'm going to do 3 times 6. I'm going to go ahead and multiply to get my partial products. So that's 300. 3 times 4 is 12, but I'm multiplying by a multiple of 10, so we know that puts a 0 there. And then 3 times 6 is 18. Now I need to add that up. I'm going to come right over here to do that. 300 plus 120. I'm going to line up my place values, make sure the ones are all in the ones column, the tens are on the tens column, and the hundreds in the hundreds column. And then I'm going to add my partial products. And I get an 8 there. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. I don't have to add any remainder. So there's nothing to add for the remainder. So this should match my dividend. Yes! Means I did it right.